wedge through it will take that out. See, and you just get the wedge in. Now I anneal this because I know that I'm going to open it up completely. Normally if it's just a little bit of buckling or you just want to burnish it, in fact all of you, after you've done it, you can do this no matter what. You go one way, the other, just little, keep it in the narrow part, and you see it'll burnish out all the little bumps, and then close it again. Sometimes that's all you have to do. If you really have a problem and you have to open it up again, you open it up more, much more with the wedge, like this, so you just push it more in.
Stab yourself.
And rock it. Be careful not to slip. You can really cut yourself with this. So the way to do it is to support it either on the plastic or the straight mandrel. It doesn't matter what you support it with. And sort of rock it back and forth. That way you'll assure yourself not to slip. When I get in here, I just see like that. That way you don't get it. Once it starts, then you can sort of wedge it open a little bit. And you want to get it open up enough so that you can get a cross beam. Pass me the one with the green marker. And you want to use a peen that can slip inside the curve. Can you also? I'm sorry. Excuse me. So you're using really your hammer peen as a wedge. You can use a small wedge and work a small peen and then work toward a larger one. I could use this if it were. Oh, thank you.
Sorry.
See, I can start with this one if necessary. It depends on. And you work your way up until you can finally get the peen you're going to use to go under. Another.
That's the broken.
Oh, this is the broken one. I picked it up from over there. I thought, oh no, not two of them.
Separate, but that's pretty.
Yeah, we better put that one separate. Yeah, it got brittle in here somehow. I'll take it to Bill. Poor Bill, he's going to be mortified.
It fell off and hit it flew off and hit somebody in the forehead.
Yeah, you're getting a lawyer's notice. I thought I should.
You need some liability insurance.
I should warn you because maybe when you go to Vietnam, you may not want to come back. But I should mention to what Billy said about ash, which I always knew as a favorite wood, but maybe he'd be better off using.
Well, he could actually do a laminated for decorative purposes and put a strip of that in the middle with ash on the sides, you know, if he likes to use it.
But I think this was an aberration. We'll find. He knows more about this stuff than I do, that's for sure. So there you go. You can open it up completely or not, and you go back in there, vanish out all your mistakes, and close it again. And if you have real buckles on here, the way to take them out is with the little spoon stake there. And I'm going to show you a couple of things which are not
Spoons, the
little
square,
stick, right?
the little square, yeah.
Forgot what you
That was the
changed.
mystery one.
The name has changed.
Protect the innocent.
Is it called a wet?
Edging stake?
Edging stake.
Yeah, that's the one.
Which is actually not a bad name. We're trying to figure out what we're going to call this. And these are fairly simple to do. You can just use cold roll steel, is fine, and forge out the ends, you know, and then grind them down, polish them. That's basically all this is. And those are things you can do yourself. Even, you don't have to get this so hot. I'm assuming that, well, I don't know, I'm making a big assumption. Most of you have oxyacetylene torches?
I do, but
I
I
have
have
access.
If you have access, I'm sure you have access. It's not a bad thing to have. And you don't have to get, you know, big. They make fairly small, what do you call it, handles, regulators.
Oh, right.
And so you know, they're really not that expensive. It's a really handy thing to have because you get the necessary heat to heat the steel at temperature so you can forge. If you've never done any blacksmithing, my other suggestion is go to your local hobby store and get a beginner's book on blacksmithing. a beginner's one for children, but not for children, but a beginner's blacksmithing book. And you'll find, and I don't have names off my head, but I know in every craft store I've ever gone to, in their books, if they sell books, they will have something on elemental blacksmithing. All the information you'll ever need to make these tools are in one of those books. Essentially, it involves a short description of steel, carbon content, you know what the different steels are, which is, you don't need much, I can tell you what steel to get right now. How to temper it, basics of forging, that's all you have to know. And the most complicated thing is learning to temper the steel, which is how to heat it, to look at it and see the colors move up, and when to quench it, what to quench it in, blah, 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 depending on the steel that you're using. And it's something that everybody in this room should learn how to do. It's really easy. In fact, blacksmithing is really fun.
The North Carolina Arts Incubators in Siler City and Central Carolina Community College is there, and they have a metal studio that's inexpensive, and lots of people who will actually give you hands-on experience, show you the tools, how to use them safely, and it's in our backyard.
And probably, do they do it at Tucson?
So,
My Robert.
when you're using, I'm sorry, when you're using this tool, if you can pass me one of those pliers around these pliers.
All right.
need
He
something-
also has us.
I need something
I think
to,
Durham Tech also
I
offers
need something to
blacksmithing.
destroy the sedge. Right, and you have something like this in there. Okay, now this really has to be popped out. This isn't even, but they get worse. When you're using the spoon, and I need the hammer, you can do either plastic or the flat hammer over it. This is not the broken one.
No, I have the broken one. I'm going to put it
You
aside.
don't ever hit, the tendency will be, oh, you'll lay it down here and I'm just going to hit the thing out.
Oh.
You don't want to do that because you'll risk pinching the metal. Now that sounds like how much can you pinch it to it makes a difference, believe it or not, because it distorts it at that point and the buckle will stay in it no matter what you do. So what you want to do is to just pop that out. So you always strike an air. So if I support the bottom of the little boo-boo here and I hit just to the side, see, very gently, and there, it pops out.
So you're compressing the metal when you hit it against,
Well, if you,
when it's metal to air.
yeah, well, if it's metal to
pushing
air,
it.
I'm basically pushing it.
It's compressing when it's metal
Yeah.
to metal.
See, I'm just
I was stretching.
pushing it with this side this way, so I'm just adjusting
You're
it.
doing that with
So
tools.
there's no distortion in
Yeah.
the thickness. Another way of doing it, if it's this size, I don't necessarily do that. This is one of the many uses of this tool. You can just do it with, you can burnish it out. See?
Right.
Now, I'm not pinching the metal. Well, I always avoid pinching the metal with this tool. You want to position it so that you can push it around or burnish it. And I know it sounds so simple. I said, oh, I can do that. You'll see once you start using this, you'll use it for multiple things. At least, see, if I want to just straighten that out, you just push it in there. And I do what I would do with my fingers. See, and just sort of burnish it up. I'm not pinching it hard, and you learn to control the amount of pressure. You hold it like chopsticks in place. So you hold it in place and then do what you need to do. Okay, that's what I wanted to show you. And then this case you're doing, sometimes you really have to do this way, but sometimes you can use that. So now you know how to fix any mistake you ever make.